Hello everyone, my name is Swaraj Sindhu. In this video, I want to share my personal journey of clearing the CISA exam in my very first attempt, without any coaching and without any IT or technical education background. I am making this video to talk about a few struggles that I faced and most CISA aspirants face but rarely talk about. If you are feeling confused, overwhelmed, or self-doubting, please know this upfront. What you are feeling is completely normal. You are not alone. If you are feeling this way right now, this video is for you. If you have any question, even after watching this video, or if I missed something really very important, feel free to message or comment below. I will answer based on my experience and honest opinion. Let me start with my background. I am a chartered accountant from India and I have had no formal IT education. Yes, we studied computers during CA, but honestly, it was nowhere close to the depth and structure required for CISA. Professionally, I have 10 plus years of experience in internal audit and SOX audit across manufacturing, banking, and FMCG industries. This gave me a strong base in controls, risk, and compliance. But when it came to IT audits, systems, or technical concepts, my exposure was very limited. And to make it more challenging, there was a 15-year gap between completing my CA and attempting CISA. So yes, restarting studies after such a long break and in a new field was not easy at all. A lot of people ask me, why CISA, why not CIA, and why after 15 years? And the main reason was my relocation from India to Canada. After moving here, I quickly realized that Indian education and work experience alone are not enough. The Canadian job market values globally recognized certifications, especially in IT governance, cybersecurity, risk management. And my two obvious options were CIA or CISA. I chose CISA first because I already had strong audit experience. CIA would add depth to what I knew, but CISA would push me out of my comfort and make me more relevant in today's technology-driven audit environment. And yes, I am currently pursuing CIA as well. Now let's talk about the real struggles. Point number 1, CISA review manual. It is huge. I remember spending hours on a single paragraph, trying to understand it deeply, trying to master every line, every topic, every module, reading the manual again and again, watching YouTube videos just to clear confusion. And even after all that, I still was not confident. The mental pressure was real. Some days I felt completely drained, anxious, tired, and full of self-doubt. That's when I realized something really very important. You do not need to master every topic in the CISA manual. I initially tried to do that, but then I stopped. I stopped trying to learn CISA like a technical course and started preparing for it like an auditor. I realized that CISA is not asking, do you know this technology in depth? Rather, it is asking, do you understand the risk, the control, and the impact on the business? Once I made this shift, the CISA manual became easier to read. The questions started making sense, and my confidence improved drastically. Also, covering everything in detail is neither practical nor required. But yes, Try to cover everything once. Very important. Identify high priority topics in each domain. Build strong command over those key areas. Study smart, not hard. Point number 2, the question bank. When I started solving practice questions, my mind was full of doubts. Will these questions actually help? Will I get the same questions in the exam? Should I buy more question banks or paid courses? Should I focus more on the manual or the questions? I searched online, read forums, watched videos, and honestly, the confusion stayed until I appeared for the exam. And here is my experience. You will not get the same questions in the exam. Actual exam questions are usually shorter and simpler to read, but they test your understanding, not your memory. CISA is not a guess-based exam. CISA is not testing your technical depth like an IT engineer. It is testing whether you can think like an IS auditor, focusing on risk, controls, impact, and governance. Use the question bank to understand key topics and the concept. Understand how ISACA thinks, and understand why one option is better than the other. Repeat questions until the concept becomes clear. And just to be very transparent, not even a single question in my exam came directly from the question bank. But the questions were clearly based on topics covered in the question bank or manual. Point number 3, should I do self-study or take coaching? As per my opinion, this is a personal choice. There is no right or wrong answer. But let's discuss pros and cons of self-study. Pros: you explore multiple sources, ISACA, YouTube, AI tools. Concept stays with you longer. It saves a lot of money. And now let's discuss cons of self-study. It takes more time. The initial months go into understanding what is important and what is not. You constantly doubt whether you are studying the right way. What is my view on this? I cleared my CA without coaching, and I wanted to clear CISA the same way. Not because of ego, but because I believe self-study builds deeper understanding, improves retention, and yes, it is cost effective. There is no guarantee of clearing CISA, whether you self-study or take coaching. Choose what suits your learning style, not what others recommend. Point number 4, difficulty level of exam questions. So the exam had a mix of easy, moderate, and difficult questions. Some questions needed pure logic. Some needed basic understanding. A few required deep conceptual clarity. But one thing surprised me. Most exam questions were written very simply, often in just one sentence, unlike practice questions, which are longer. My suggestion is go through the CISA manual and question bank at least once for basic coverage. Deep dive into important topics using the manual, videos, notes, or AI. This helps you comfortably handle all 3 levels of questions. Point number 5, 4 hours for 150 questions. Is it enough? In my opinion, yes, it is, if you manage your time well. One important suggestion from my side: avoid flagging too many questions for the end. Why? Reviewing 20, 30, or 40 questions at the end significantly increases stress. As pressure increases, accuracy drops. I completed my exam in about 3.5 hours and used the remaining 30 minutes for review. But honestly, after 3.5 hours of intense thinking, mental fatigue sets in. Expecting yourself to carefully review many flagged or unanswered questions in the last 30 or 60 minutes is not very effective. So plan your time wisely. Try to answer questions confidently as you go and keep end time review minimal. Final message from my side. If you are preparing for CISA and feeling lost, overwhelmed, or doubting about your preparation, please remember, this phase is temporary. If I could do it with no IT background, no coaching, and a long study gap, you can too. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and share it with someone who needs this motivation. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again with more useful insights and answers to your questions. Take care.